Okay, we're gonna do this. Good evening, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and call to order the Ogden Valley City Council regular meeting of Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. It is 6 p.m., so we'll get started. We are meeting tonight in the council chambers of Huntsville Town Hall with electronic participation available via Zoom. So we have members that will be available to attend in person as well as electronic. I'm going to go ahead and first call the roll before we get into the pledge. Calling roll, we have with us this evening Councilmember Hickman, Councilmember Shaw, I'm Mayor Wampler, Councilmember Booth, Councilmember Hoagland, Councilmember Dooling Baker, as well as our staff and volunteers of our recorder, Sharon Robbins, and our IT director, Kathy Zindell. And we should have our treasurer is here as well, yes, who doesn't want to be mentioned. And our city council, our city attorney should be online. Is Corbin online? Wonderful. We welcome Corbin Gordon online. We also have a special guest this evening, Lieutenant Jeffries is here. If anyone from the audience would like to speak with him, he'll be here during the meeting as well as after. Lieutenant Jeffries, we want to welcome you. Thank you for having come. And he is our lieutenant for Ogden Valley City within our agreement. All right, so we do have a quorum present. We'll go ahead and proceed, and we'll rise and have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will move now into a brief moment of silence. Thank you. All right, first up on our agenda will be public comment. So just to remind everybody of the following rules. When people come up or if they're talking online, please start by stating your full name and address for the record. We ask that you keep your comment around 2 minutes in length. Comments should be germane to the authority of the city council. And I'm going to actually go ahead and remove for tonight the rule. I'm kind of in contemplation of it. There's a typical rule we state that says no comment for items on the agenda, but there is no call for public comment in the items on the agenda tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that rule and let you know if anybody wanted to comment on whether it's the consent agenda or the ordinance that we're discussing this evening. By all means, you're welcome to speak at this time about that. So I'm going to remove that rule. Please maintain decorum, no personal attacks, be respectful, and we'd love to hear from you. So anyone in the room, please come down. We've got a little tape on the floor. We're going to start with in-room first before we go online and look for hands online. If anybody in the room would like to come up and make some public comment about anything that has to do with the city or the city council, we'd love to hear from you. Not all jump at once. It's very exciting. Oh, Blaine, I was getting excited. No? All right. Is anybody online with a hand up? Not this time. All right. Okay. Well, if nobody is interested in speaking to us, that's all right. You can always email us or come by during office hours. We're here. All of that as well. That'll wake us up. My cataracts. Okay. So seeing no one for public comment, I'm going to go ahead and close that section of the meeting, and we will move into our consent agenda. So items in the consent agenda can be approved just by a simple one motion agreement, unless a city council member wants to request that any of those items get removed for discussion. So we can do that. Is there any city council member who would like to remove one of the two items for discussion? These are the contracts. We're looking at, I believe there's two, the approval of the Huntsville MOU and the Cassell contract. Okay.
Camp Legion was removed then.
That's correct.
Okay.
Anybody? No, going once. All right. So, if no one wants to remove them, then I'll take a motion on whether to approve, deny, or table the consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the consent agenda is adopted 5-0. So that approves the Huntsville memorandum of understanding and the Cassell contract.
Can we explain to the public what those are?
Yes,
If
if
you
you
get background,
if you'd like.
I will explain because I worked on those. You see my legal skills, as rusty as they are. Huntsville has been kind enough to offer us use of this facilities starting our incorporation. And they started this even June of 24 with a resolution that allowed us to go forward, and that resolution needed an agreement once we were incorporated. So we drafted a memorandum of understanding, the terms of which will be posted online, but the first 6 months are absolutely free. And we have really taken advantage with frequent meetings, and we have an office in the adjacent building, which is just amazing in terms of how much money we are saving. So thank you again, Huntsville. The second agreement is with a company called Cassell, Utah-based, and that's software that enables all of the financial operations of the city to take place. And so think of it as financial planning software for a city and financial administration software. And we were very well served by our treasurer, who's familiar with that, Kay Larison, and also by our external CPA firm, K&C CPAs, who negotiated vast cuts to the cost. So we're up and running, and Kay will be happy to start doing her treasury magic. Okay, thank you.
Can I ask
Sure.
a question? Does Cassell, will it eventually replace Frontier?
I don't think so. I think Frontier is focused on land use applications, but I can ask.
I was under the impression
Can't be
Cassell was
Frontier.
all kinds of software.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could it? It's a lot of software.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Frontier part because I don't know Frontier.
Frontier was a homemade thing that Weber County made themselves, so, yeah. But they do, Cassell does GIS and.
There are a number of modules we can look at, so I'll tell them you want to give them more business right away. No, I'll ask for a total list of modules.
Okay, next on the agenda is ordinance 2026-05. This is amending ordinance 2026-02, which is relating to the temporary land use moratorium. We're gonna proceed with a brief staff report and then go into council questions or discussion, and then council deliberation and action. So if we can start with having Corbin, if you're online, please present the staff report for this ordinance.
I will do so, Mayor and members of the council. It's good to be with you. We have spent a lot of time. This has been kind of a tricky ordinance, as you know, and we have really looked at this closely. And I think we now have an ordinance that has better language, that's clearer, and all of you have been a part of it. There were a few minor edits today that are different from the version that you have reviewed. I want to walk through those quickly. I had overlooked to change the code that's applicable. Used to be 10.9A, and now it has been changed to 10.20, and that just happened in November, and I had overlooked. So I've updated the code citations. There was also a suggestion to make clear that this amendment does not alter the start date of the moratorium. And so our 6 months began when we passed ordinance 2026-02. We're not trying to tack on additional time. We have 6 months from that date, and I've made that clearer in the last language. And just to be clear, in the document that I circulated earlier today, I had done a version of it that did not have the utility language that has been put back in. That was just an oversight on my part. So with that, unless you want me to read through the specifics of it, I think all of you have had an opportunity to look at it, review it, and comment on it. If there are any questions, I'm happy to ask. If not, then I'll turn it back over to the mayor for discussion and possible approval.
Thank you very much, Corbin. So at this point, I'll open it for council for questions and discussion. If there is any.
It's Kay, and I'd like to make an observation. As Corbin mentioned, this is rather complex. Ogden Valley, as we know, has been the subject of a lot of different types of development and land use ordinances. And as a consequence, there are very different types of situations that are coming up. And so, what we find we are doing is being true to the central goal of this moratorium, which is to pause while we get our land use ordinance in place without disturbing already clearly legally vested rights. And, you know, we've had questions popping up here and there, some of which may not be clearly answered in the existing language. And that's caused and prompted us to consider, you know, a couple of fine-tuning amendments. So that's what we are doing. And, you know, I encourage the public to continue to ask about different situations that may affect them. It may be clear on this language, or it may be something that merits further discussion. So as with land use in the valley, not one size fits all. So we will try to remain flexible while staying true to the purpose of this moratorium.
Okay. Any other questions or comments or discussion?
Yes, I had heard, we had talked a little bit about TDRs last time, but it wasn't discussed. So our TDRs, since we don't have an ordinance for them. So there's.
Yes and no.
Yes,
Right.
help me with the.
So, and Corbin, I gave Corbin the heads up that we were going to have this discussion tonight. So it came up while we were finalizing the language for tonight's amendment. And Corbin, maybe I'll let you discuss our situation. I'll give you a little reminder in that a situation that came up was that something popped up in Frontier this past week, but it was notarized prior to January 2nd, the date of our incorporation, our live date. So it would technically, we believe, fall under being vested. And it was a situation where a form-based area, which does have a land use code attached and contractually agreed to be able to receive TDRs. So that is a vested agreed land use code for this particular piece of property. And prior to January 2nd, they got this, I guess, transfer of TDRs from a property within the city boundary to transfer development rights to this form-based property. So timing wise, that one should be fine. So then it led to the question of, well, how does this work moving forward? Because some of these form-based developments that have a vested code that does allow them to receive, well, that should be vested. But the rest of the valley that is under the moratorium, because we don't have a land use code that would then not give them the right to then transfer out their development rights. So is that on hold, and how does that play out? That became the discussion that we were starting to have. And Corbin, I'll let you take it away, because there was some legal back and forth about, well, right, I think you said, well, I'm gonna let you say it. It's called growth, by the way. I usually just keep talking.
You did great. You did great.
Thanks.
Yeah, so on this one, I think right now, because we don't have a land use code and we don't know where those could potentially land, again, the guiding principle here is we are not trying to stop anything that has a vested right to proceed. And so TDRs normally are taken care of through different documents. And so if someone has a vested right to transfer those TDRs, then we're going to honor that. That's normally going to be through potentially a development agreement, something like that. And other than that, we've pushed pause because we don't know where those are going to land and which zones you ultimately will decide you want those to land in. And so that's basically where we are. So I think our language, we've covered the idea of vesting. And if someone can come in and demonstrate they have a vested application, something happened prior to our incorporation, then we're not going to stop that. We are going to stop new applications because unless they're vested, right? I mean, that's the whole guiding principle here. So I feel like what we've done protects the city. The language is sufficient, and if something comes up in the next 3 or 4 months as we're working on this, we'll deal with it.
So if I'm not mistaken, essentially, because you have a furrowed brow here. So TDRs, there was no TDR code in the county, right? It's in certain land use codes, form-based and DRR1. And but landowners have development rights. There was just no TDR ordinance that allowed you to do whatever these other developments could receive. They could buy and they could take things in. My understanding, and Corbin, correct me if I'm wrong, is that with this pause with a moratorium, it would pause temporarily regular landowners to purchase and sell development rights, because there is no land use code that talks about that particularly. Some of these developers that have developer agreements or development agreements, they might have language in their contract. And if they do, great. And if another landowner has something like that, then great too, because that would be a vested contract. But other than that, people have a temporary pause on being able to transfer and move around development rights. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
Until we get our code in place. Yes.
Okay. And that's within the language that we have, even within this new amended one, it's covered under that because it talks about basically whether or not you have this developer agreement.
But yeah, it's all going to be established as a development agreement. The only way someone could claim they're vested is if they came in and said, my development agreement says I can receive these. And so we've dealt with the idea of approved developments with a development agreement, right? So that's how it would come up.
But so if they're allowed, because there are development agreements where they're allowed to receive, but the question would be, well, where are you buying them? Because the other party wouldn't have a developer agreement necessarily that says I'm allowed to sell. I'm a sending zone because we don't have a zone right now. Is that correct?
Right. Yes, that is correct. Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
May I just ask how the Ogden City
Water?
TDRs?
I don't even know where they are with that right now.
Okay.
I don't know what.
Because that happened right before we incorporated.
Did they actually make a decision? I never heard they had a final decision. Maybe they did.
I thought they did. The work session they did. So.
Well, but work sessions don't make
I know,
final.
I understand.
So
So I was just wondering,
should
I
do that.
heard it went and was at a council, at a county. Would those impact us at all if they were?
You'd have to read the developer agreement. So I know when they came to us at the planning commission, and it was denied by the planning commission, but when they came to the planning commission, they had talked about trying to sweeten the deal to get the planning commission to agree. By saying we would only transfer it into DRR1, which does not exist in the city, because they thought maybe that would help the planning commission agree. They didn't. But I don't know whether that offer was still on the table. I have not read whatever's gone on, so I haven't heard. I don't know.
Okay.
I believe they were trying to do something with powder or something, but I don't know what the end result was.
And then I guess my second question, my final question would be, you mentioned in the beginning, Corbin, about having it notarized and therefore it was vested.
Oh, no, I did. I mentioned that this Frontier thing that popped up. So the Frontier thing popped up last week. We've been incorporated now for, what day is today? 17 days, 18 days. It popped up last week. So when it popped up, my first thought was, well, we're live and there is no code for transferring development rights. But if you look at the paperwork, it was submitted and signed and notarized, I think it was like December 28th, something to that effect. So it was before our city went live. It just got processed through Frontier later, but its paperwork is signed, sealed, delivered before.
Okay.
I'm not looking into whether that's.
Yeah.
That's above my pay grade. I don't get
There are
it.
so many variations that can arise of situations under this agreement. It's helpful to also say, let's look at real situations and see how we will handle those. And it's very tempting to keep saying, what if, but those may or may not be the case. But every question deserves full analysis under this language to respect property rights that may in fact be vested.
Yes. Yes, Ken.
A question, Corbin, on the existing subdivisions. I'm getting asked this on a daily basis from citizens who are asking about building. And it states here that has received final approval as a recorded plat and that is subject to a development agreement that designates zoning. How far back and how are we checking if those subdivisions fall within those three checklists, I guess, those three items?
Normally, so a development agreement is normally recorded against the property. Should show up on title. And so it will be the property owner's obligation and responsibility to show that they're in compliance with the code.
Yeah.
So when they come in and they file an application, it's like, great, we'll issue a building permit. Show me your plat. Show me that it's got final approval and show me the development agreement that establishes the zone. That's where they're vested. And that's where we have no right to change whatever zone they're vested under. We have to approve them under that zone. If they don't have that, then moratorium applies and they have to wait until we get our land use code in place.
So time really doesn't have anything to do with it. I mean, if they can prove it going back 10, 20, 30 years within a subdivision, they could still be legally able to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, the vesting really boils down to the development agreement. I doubt that there's going to be many that have them that far back, right? Those have probably only been used in the last maybe 10 years. But that's bring in the development agreement. Let us take a look. If it establishes the zoning, we'll issue a building permit.
So explain that as far as you doubt that they could go back that. Is that not something that was used previously?
No. Development agreements have only been used really for the last maybe 10 or 15 years, and was part of the approval process and clarified exactly what rights were there. And I think they were used by both cities and developers because they wanted to know what they had. And so it's like, I came in 2006, I got an approval of a subdivision. This is the zone, and these are my setbacks. I know what I can build, and no, you can't come back and change on me later. That's what's vested, right? If they don't have a development agreement that says that, then no, they are subject to whatever zone is there. And we've got a moratorium on that because we don't have a zone yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Corbin, can I ask what they would use before there was a development agreement?
I'm not aware of what I've always seen them used, called development agreements, some form of a contract that basically outlines what the terms of the approval were. But I've always seen them in my career that goes back 25 years now, always called development agreements. So, I mean, if they're called something else, just tell them to bring it in. I'm more than happy to take a look at it and see if it qualifies.
So, yeah, we have a number of, the history of the valley has a lot of different codes that were used, PRUDs, Master Development Overlay Zone, and what else? Development agreements were to try to get, master plans were trying to get out of PRUDs, and development agreements were trying to get out of master development agreements, and then form-based was trying to get away from development agreements, and it's been an evolving situation in the valley. So the question would come down to, So development agreements, to my knowledge, are newer in the valley as they stand today, being actual legal contracts about this and that, and really specify exactly what a person, it's not just a developer, I mean, we have landowners, homeowners that are just, a couple that owns 40, 50 acres that have gotten a developer agreement to freeze their zone and their development rights. That happened in this last year, knowing that our city was about to come live. We've had some residents come in and do that. So there are residents as well as developers that have these. But so if somebody wanted to say like, oh, well, 30 years ago I had a PRUD and it has it in there that I'm F3 or whatever, my thing would just bring it in, let's look at it, because chances are we'll look at the language, as I guess I'll just end it with, is we'll look at the language. But there is a difference. Everybody has a lot that tells you what your zone is. That doesn't freeze it in time contractually. Land use is supposed to be able to evolve. So.
But just to be clear, a development agreement freezes it in time.
It does actually, the state usually help time. So I know for one particular person that came in this past year, they wanted it for 30 years, which is not standard. Usually it's around 10 or something like that, but I don't, whatever the county agreed to is whatever they agreed to. So they usually, have set time. Any other discussion on this? I know you guys have seen the language and had a chance to read through it. Any other questions about this new iteration of the moratorium, the temporary moratorium? If there's no further discussion, then I'll call for a motion.
I move that we approve ordinance
2026-05.
2026-05.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Actually, it's an ordinance, so I'm gonna have to call for a roll call vote here. That's what's recommended. So, Councilmember Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Julie Baker.
Aye.
Councilmember Hoagland.
Aye.
Councilmember Booth.
Aye.
Councilmember Hickman.
Aye.
The ayes have it, 5-0. Motion passes and ordinance 2026-05 is adopted. All right. Next up would be if we needed to have a closed meeting. I'm not aware of anything that needs to have a closed meeting discussion. If any council members are aware and would like to request one, we give you time. But if not, then we're going to move past that item on the agenda towards adjournment. This public meeting would get adjourned, but we will then be opening up a public work session because we have a lot of business to try to work out. So I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Do we stop this recording and then start a new one, or
Oh.
can they be together?
Oh, Corbin, are you still there?
I would probably separate them, stop and start a new one because you're gonna have to post them and they need to be posted separately as different meetings.
But did we only post one Zoom link?
It was one notice.
Oh,
We
no,
posted
wait a
one
minute,
notice,
no, wait a
one
minute.
Zoom link.
And we put it as one, no, keep it all the same. Sorry.
Nope.
Yeah,
Okay.
just keep recording, keep it all the same, because we can notice up both of those in one meeting, and that's what we did. So yeah, you can just keep it all and
So everybody online, stay with us if you'd like. All right, so,
I'll
motion.
make a motion to adjourn.
All right, we got a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so I figure there's no votes. All right. I know I left it at home. I'm sorry. All right, but, it's my eyeglass case. But we're gonna go ahead and call to order our work session for January 20th of 2026. This is a discussion focused session. There's no formal action taken in a work session. We don't take public comment typically in a work session. If there is something you feel desperate you want to share with us, then we'll take that into account. We're going to go ahead and just proceed through the posted topics as they come up. There's some things we needed to get through. So first up, I don't think we need to do the pledge again.
Mayor, if I may, just
Yeah.
wanted to say that was the only item that I needed to be here on. So just
Yes, that is.
good to see everyone. I'm going to jump off. So thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thanks, Corbin.
Thank you,
See you.
Corbin.
Bye.
All right, first item on our agenda is council member updates, any roadblocks. So just brief updates from everybody, what you're working on, what you maybe need clarification on, any help with, or just want to give a kudos because something's going really well. We'll start down the road with District 1.
Okay. I got some communication from Iris Hennen at Weaver County. So she kind of outlined, see what would happen, and I need to find the email because I've got several here. As far as business licenses, because I asked her, so she needed to know who and I asked this before, but she needs to know who our city planner is and contact information to put him on Frontier.
I think that's already happened.
Well done.
Has that already
Yeah.
happened? Okay.
Brian Harper.
So she needs to put me on too, apparently, for business licenses, but this is for business licenses, right? She wants to know how we would like to handle payment for business licenses, monthly, quarterly, or yearly.
I'm sorry, them paying us.
She said, how would you like to handle payment for business licenses, monthly, quarterly, or yearly?
Is that the purchase of license?
That's what I'm trying to understand is what
By
we're talking about right
the
now.
A
business.
year.
Well, for our licenses, they do it annually.
If I may, the way the interlocal was constructed is, if I recall, and I don't have it up in front of me, but the way the interlocal was constructed is those business license fees would stay with the county because the county was processing them and they would not come to us.
Right,
So if she's asking how to pay us, our understanding right now is that she doesn't pay us. If it is how often I as a business owner should pay, I only pay when I apply for the license.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would reply to her and ask that question, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And make sure that both of you understand what the interlocal says.
Okay.
Now, if the county would love to pay us,
I was gonna say,
certainly would take their money.
I won't refuse the money, but I'm not sure.
That's not how we constructed the interlocal.
Yeah.
Okay, see, another thing that helped us in terms of the permitting was to sit down with the planner, the team, and create a workflow. So if that's helpful, to reach out to Brian and go in there with him and
Okay,
are you gonna be reviewing the business licenses? Or does a planner review business licenses?
I thought, because in the county, and I sent that to you, that slide where she said they had these people who reviewed.
Oh, if it's necessary, they'll
And
shoot it
this
to them.
Tammy Aiello, or however you say it.
Yeah, Tammy's in planning, yeah.
Yeah, is the planner that reviews it, and they asked me who will replace Tammy, and so it sounds like Brian Carter.
Mhm.
So that's how they do it. And so if they needed Brian in there as part of the process that they go through, as I understand it.
So the reason being is there could be land use questions
Right.
associated with the proposed business, that's why.
Or building
Mhm.
spec something.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes, Brian is already in Frontier and is a reviewer.
okay, so I should contact Brian and arrange a time to meet with him to get business license flowing kind of
And
thing.
he's gonna spend some time live here over once or twice a month, so
Okay,
it might help that out,
okay.
that process out also.
Yeah, because it sounds like he and I will be looking at business licenses and bringing them to the council.
Right. That should be the case.
Next.
Yeah.
Then we approve it.
Yeah,
And may I jump back in? I just pulled up the interlocal. And this, you'll want to clarify this with us. Section 3 of the interlocal does say that we, the city, agree to pay the county an amount of money per hour that they do services provided under the agreement. The
Okay.
county employees will track that, so that may be what she's asking you about. It's section 3, paragraph 1.
okay, so that's like with special services where Scott has a code that he puts in on his hours that identify it as special services.
Maybe.
So, okay, I will ask. Iris also had a question. She said, I also have a couple of STRs that are part of a PRUD, which allows STRs at the moment. Don't need land use permits. How would you like me to proceed?
How would you like her to proceed with an STR application?
That are part of a PRUD,
Mhm.
which allows STRs.
Which is, I'm guessing to say that they
Which
are
means that they-
located currently in a zone that allows STRs.
Okay.
I'm guessing. Is that,
She didn't give me any more information than that. She didn't tell me what it was, just a couple of STRs.
can you,
I will ask.
yeah, get some information on their addresses or it's not and.
Yeah,
Well, and there's language in the moratorium that deals with that
right,
under change of use.
right. Okay, and then I have an email, from Goal Winter Running Series. And my question on that is, that he said, Scott mentioned that our permit review fees like this year will be payable to Ogden Valley City. And he mentioned I should reach out to you to take care of this payment.
Reach out to me.
Me,
No.
to me, he's talking to me.
Yes, sorry.
How would I take care of that payment?
Well, so they're gonna pay a special event license, or they're gonna pay a special event fee to have the marathon and various things in
Right.
the bag.
Right,
So
and he's asking me how I
Because-
would take that payment.
it goes back to the,
It's an hourly, it's
goes back to the interlocal.
in interlocal, it's an hourly.
Are we paying them or are they paying us? Somebody paying us?
Goal, I mean, if it's from Goal has to pay to have their event.
Right,
But it should be in the contract.
Depending on the size of the event, has to pay for the event.
it's the question how to pay us.
The question is, that the fee should be paid to Ogden Valley City.
Okay, so right over there is our treasurer.
A transfer or
There we go. So
money.
link them up with our treasurer. That'll be the first real income into the city if they do it, other than a loan, if they do it too. We haven't received any other funds yet, have we?
So I just have to get clarification on that, because on these special services, they're getting reviewed by the sheriff's office, by fire, by all these different entities. And don't they pay for that? Who pays for all of that?
Is it a mass gathering permit? The
Uh-huh.
mass gathering permit
Yes.
to the health department.
And it goes to the health
And
department.
they have to review all of
Right.
that stuff and they write one big check to.
Uh-huh,
So again, I would pull up the interlocal agreement
I did, yeah.
and it's similar to the business license one. where
Right.
We constructed one where we're gonna use their system, it's all gonna be processed by them on whatever their process is, and then we agree to pay X number of dollars per hour of their staff managing it for us.
Right,
So.
so
for-
should we get that money then?
I do not believe that the interlocal is written that way, but let's read it closely.
All of our interlocals are written individually. There are some where the payment that the applicant makes covers the cost. So there's no money transfer between Weber County and Ogden Valley City because the applicant pays a fee that covers the cost of them servicing that fee, and that's just done. There are others where an applicant pays in and there is additional money owed. It doesn't cover the cost of the service, and then we pay a certain rate on top of what the applicant pays. There are others where an applicant pays and it more than covers, and so some money comes back to the city. So I don't have them all memorized right now, but it would
Nor do
depend on
I.
what that contract says.
But I went through it with Scott and it said we will pay him an hourly rate.
Okay,
Yes, but it is silent on
the applicant paying.
the goal foundation's money and where that money goes.
Okay, all right, well, we'll follow
So
the.
we can untangle this, we can help you untangle it, but it may, because in the case of permitting
Yeah, I was just saying,
over in Stan Bernicia's land, all of the permit fees are to stay there to cover their costs.
and that's what I would think this would be, because.
But it was explicit in that interlocal, it's not, it's silent on this one, and so we could argue that the goal, whatever it is, $1,000 should come to us and we'll pay $100 to Stanford or to
Oh, no,
Scott
yeah,
First Time.
absolutely, but.
So sit down with us and we'll help untangle it.
Fun, okay, so put a little star next to that, we'll figure that out with you.
Mhm.
Is that it for you? Because there's one more, you have one more portfolio. And I want.
Yeah. So for the emergency preparedness part of my portfolio, I am reaching out to Lisa Goslin
Mm-hmm,
Schwartz. I'm not sure which that name is right now. I think it's Goslin.
and yes,
And I'm going to the training tomorrow.
yes,
The earthquake training.
yes.
And looking at, there's not an interlocal for emergency preparedness.
No.
Or my other one, which is economic development. So.
No.
And then,
Right,
yeah,
that's just those. So, but for anyone that's watching online or that's in the audience, the Weber County Emergency Preparedness Department offers regular free classes and education and everything. And tomorrow night, specifically, is an earthquake preparation class. I've attended some of these in the past. They're really good. And they've got giveaways. They make it fun. You sign, you get raffle tickets. But it's really helpful. The information, they've got an expert coming in, as some super high up dude coming in to talk about earthquake preparedness. And it's open to the public, so anyone can sign up. They do have a link online to register. It takes place at the sheriff's office, the Weber County Sheriff's Office on Depot Drive. So it's at 7 o'clock at night. If any of you all would like to join, Tia will be there. I will be there as well. I don't know if any of the other council members are planning to attend, but probably be quite a few people actually from the Valley, whether it's the
Yeah.
stake emergency crew or the CERT crew, but.
I will mention this. I've been going to Weber County's emergency preparedness meetings for about 3 years now. And the capacity I have as emergency preparedness coordinator in Huntsville State. But there's always been a Zoom link to see them, and I don't see a Zoom link for this one, and they did mention limited capacity.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so that's from District 1 council member. District 2, Peggy, what you got going on?
Well, I'm with T and Kathy, and our website dropped last week. We asked everyone to give us feedback, and we haven't gotten a lot. So we're hoping that you'll find some time.
It's tonight, it's on the agenda. Everybody's to give feedback tonight on the agenda down lower as well, so.
Yes, that we had, great,
Yes.
that's perfect. So we'll look at that. That was a block for us not getting feedback, so we weren't getting feedback.
Everybody owed it by the end of today, and so we put it on the agenda so that no one can get away with it.
We have some problems with it, obviously, but we want to get it up and running and live. And the other block was our .gov. And Kathy, you want to give us an update on our .gov?
The government reached out to us to have us give them additional documents to prove that we're a city. I spoke with Kay on the phone this morning about it. This was more of a legal matter. She provided me the incorporation document from the lieutenant governor, and I provided it to them. So they said, thank you for the document. There's a on their process, and that's so they have more questions.
That was all they needed.
Hopefully, they haven't said anything else yet today.
Interesting.
So we're hoping very soon. So when we get the feedback and get some kinks worked out, we are looking forward to going live very soon. We get the .gov, we're gonna be good to go. Let's see, community engagement, my block there has been time. I haven't been able to reach out as of yet, but it's on the list.
Well, but you have a party this weekend.
Oh, yeah. That counts. I'm working on that, so please come.
Yes, there's a party this weekend, everybody. If you didn't hear or haven't seen that, it is at what time? It's at 6?
6 to 8. We've got some great donations from restaurants in town and.
Yes, you're having a taste of the valley.
Yeah, Taste of the Valley. So come enjoy it. Kids, everybody's welcome. So please come.
6 to 8 at the Hearthside.
Hearthside.
Hearthside?
Hearthside. Yes, and everybody's
Hearthside.
donating.
Saturday, the 24th.
Yeah, Dave Martin donated the Hearthside. All the volunteers
Yeah.
have donated.
Live music.
Stuff. The musicians have donated their time, and it's just going to be fabulous. We did get a check done for the party.
Yes.
A donation, so that is our first donation.
That's our first revenue coming.
But we've been so good with
Being frugal.
being frugal and asking the Valley folks to jump in, so we really didn't need it all. But one thing we would like to do with it, and I need council approval, I believe, for this, is that you mentioned how gracious Huntsville has been. And the mayor's not in here, is he? He has donated this room and our office space. So whenever it's talking to him, I mentioned, what is a few things you might need around here? And the secretary's identified a bench to sit on outside in the back here. So we thought we'd use some of that donation check for a thank you gift, if that's appropriate.
No decisions made in a workshop, but you're welcome to
Toss it out there.
toss the idea around, yeah.
Okay, so we'd like to do that as our thank you. It's a little something we can give back to Huntsville, and it's something they want. So think about that. Let's see, moving on to Health Department. I've reached out but have not met in person yet. Law enforcement, we're so happy to meet tonight. So thank you for reaching out, Lieutenant Jeffries. So we will start having regular communications. Lieutenant Jeffries, and I will leave planning and code enforcement. I'll jump in on Chad.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, Councilmember Hoagland.
Okie dokie. Just so you know, we each have portfolios of functions. And we're kind of going through that portfolio item by item as to what we're doing. On the legal side, I'm trying to wrap up, and we're halfway there, 2 tech contracts. The next one to knock off is Tech Legion. And my goal in this is to start getting consistent terms that are city favorable. And what I find is, hey, these are tech people, whether it's software or hardware, IT. The legal terms ain't their specialty. And so I find there's, whether it's they're out of state or just a different perspective, there's not a lot of city protected language in. So I'm trying to get that standardized across all of our contracts. There are 4 or 5 others of my favorite types of contracts that I will then pick up. And we'll appreciate digging into the rationale for having them and getting them up to date. I'm finding there's a lot of day-to-day legal stuff. Sometimes it's informational, sometimes it is.
There, then I could actually.
Exactly. No, whether, the principle is, this is a first time for so many employees of other organizations, first time for us to go through all this. And we keep getting the questions like Kathy got today. Well, what proof do you have that you are a city? Or we've gotten this with our banks or with a variety. They want certain documents that don't pertain to cities. So easy questions, but kind of a constant parade of those with our new relationships. Top of my list for tomorrow is to circle back and get online with the Utah State Tax Commission and do all our registrations to make sure they have our data, they know what types of sales taxes we're filing. and just get that cleaned up as a follow-up to our pre-work before incorporation. On the compliance side, my long-term goal is to develop a compliance checklist for the city of all the regulations, training, et cetera, we must go through. In the meantime, we've been focusing on getting this notification of meeting process cleaned up, simplified, and easy for everyone. We did better this week. The meeting notice was officially posted on the website on Saturday for a Tuesday meeting. So kudos to Sharon and to Mayor and to all of us for making our timely suggestions. Part of that process is identifying, nominating topics for the next meeting for next week by Tuesday night. So, Tuesday night is here again. And so I'd encourage you, we have a work session, our regular work session here on Mondays. I encourage you to think about what things you want to add to the agenda so Janet and Corbin can get working on that. One final thing is the ethics disclosure that we all need to fill out. I will circulate that to you all. We can talk about it at the Monday work session. And if there are no concerns about the form, which is merely an implementation of the policy we adopted, we can go ahead and fill that out. So that will be useful.
Are volunteers exempt from any?
I don't know. I'll have to go ask the draftsman about whether volunteers need to fill it out. We had an attorney draft this who had worked a lot in the ethics area recently. In finance, I'm looking forward to meeting with Kay Larison, our resident expert. Tomorrow, she's prepared some policies and procedures along with our external CPAs. And also, I specifically want to get some procedures for flowing money, putting money in cash, checks, whatever, into the bank. Because Janet, as I understand, you signed, was it Friday, to officially receive money into the bank account?
We have a bank account and it has money in it.
Dang, so we have 2 bank accounts. So excellent. Yeah. Our treasurer just reminded me I can't carry a check around for more than 3 days. But there is the doctrine of impossibility. I could not deposit it because we didn't have functional bank accounts yet. So that will be remedied tomorrow morning. Let me see, budgets. I will send out a request for you to do your estimates of each of your areas. This is really hard. I recognize this, but it's the effort to get more granularity and our arms around what we are spending. We're starting to get bills and we have to start not only considering paying them in the appropriate time period, although we have many flexible provisions in our contract to defer payment. But still, they're full of information. What is our run rate of fees and bills going to be that we have to pay?
Are you gonna give a template for us to use?
I will. Yeah,
So I was just saying, is there an action item for everyone on that?
I will
or-
do that. I'm just warning you while it's coming.
All right.
And let me see, facilities and operations, I'm happy to report we have 0 spend because we have built our office from donations. Pretty amazing, and it's comfy. And that's about it.
Okay. Council, yes,
I recall communication, sorry.
reclaiming my time.
I'm sorry, we had a strategy meeting on Saturday to plan a communication strategy. And this is really hard. We've had this newspaper moratorium. I was doing moratoriums. But the newspaper, which is critical and helpful, has been on pause. Now it's resuming. Our website is not yet up and running, which would be a primary vehicle. And so we do have a variety of other methods of communications, newsletters, Facebook pages, if you dare, and some other methods. So we're just trying to consolidate that all and be very clear about where you can get information about the city. So I'll be preparing that strategy. We did have a successful first effort to get collective articles together into the Ogden Valley News on time by their deadlines of Monday. So that was helpful. We had readers, some of whom are in this room, who helped get those in final, and then we sent it off to the newspaper last night.
I was thinking about this the other day. Do we have someone that's documenting our president?
Or what?
Our president, you know, we need a history, we need someone, you know.
Like a historian?
Like a historian that would do that as a volunteer, but we also need someone to start now. And move forward with us and keeping records of things, copies of
That would be our
paper
report,
articles. Is that you?
That's my mind.
Okay, both.
but good.
An archivist.
Councilmember Booth?
You ready, Kate, for?
Yeah, go ahead, Chad, sorry.
Laura's got some.
Lois, go ahead.
I just have a few things that we're working on too, which is getting straight with that entity registration, getting the PTIN account set up. We've applied for sales tax exemption, so when the city buys something, we're exempt. Obviously, we're gonna install a cell down the road pretty quick here. We did have some furniture donated that we've got to figure out, we've got to talk about that. And then our finance procedures. Plus, I've contacted the state about, piggybacking on their, the state Amazon account that we can set up as a city. So that's in the future, that's gotta come to you for approval, so.
Yep.
we can do that in the future.
Okay. Okay, I'm thinking I'll put those on maybe Monday's work session. So we can discuss some details about it. Okay.
We ready now?
Yeah, are we ready? Yeah.
All right, the reason I say that, I'm guessing, I'm not sure where to start with it, I'm guessing it's a bit of a hot topic. Planning, land use, code enforcement, and building permits.
Yes.
So, Peggy, please jump in to add any details. Peggy and I have been working on this and we've made a lot of progress, I believe, with it. And so things are going good with it. We've had a lot of good meetings with the county. Stan being the main person there and with his team down there have really educated us in this process and kind of given us direction on how to go about this in relation to active building permits, new building permits, dealing with the moratorium. And this is all kind of just we're working through it as we go. And it's one of the things we've been working on is developing a process that will make it easier for us to define applications and permits that directly fall under the moratorium and not necessarily are rejected, but kind of put aside until the moratorium is lifted. Ones that are pretty easy to and self-defined that way, and then being able to work with the ones that can be worked on and can move forward with. And so we've kind of developed that process. We brought in a planning group, JUV. Brian Carver's heading that up with his team also. They've been amazing. They're going to help us out on the land use side of things and also the general plan to give us directions there and help on that side too. So within those, working with Weber County, with JUB, it's been a process that's kind of brought us together in understanding the direction a lot better. Peggy, what else as far as that goes, jumping in and giving some details on that if I missed out on, I guess on the moratorium part of things, this has helped tonight with the ordinance that we went through. It kind of defines it a little bit clearer for us in relation to subdivisions. And I think that was a wise thing that was brought up and brought out into the open, something that we needed to deal with on that. It took a little while to get to the final, and that was good that we had Corbin to be able to put language in place that helped us to understand it better, because we were all kind of scatterbrained when it first came out as far as what was actually allowed. But I think it's pretty clear now on that, and that will help us moving forward. If there are citizens who have questions on that, I get 2 or 3 a day, whether it be phone calls or emails that I'm responding to, and do my best to explain to them where you're at on your specific application or permit you're looking to get. And this has kind of helped me to define how I respond to those things for the foreseeable future on that. And our goal as far as a council is to try to work through both the land use and the general plan as quick, but also as thorough, and utilizing the expertise of a lot of people who are helping us out with that to put together a super solid general plan and land use laws that will help us to back that.
Yeah. It takes a lot of discussion and a lot of talking through the process with everybody, so Stan has been great. And it's our understanding that that will continue until we move away from that system.
Sorry, I lost.
We will continue to work with Stan
Okay.
Frontier.
Got it.
Yeah, good point.
After they move to OpenGov, they're moving from Frontier to something like Open.
Yeah, I think they built Frontier and now they're moving to a more commercial software.
Okay, so when they make that move in a few weeks, we're gonna go with them, is my understanding, through that interlocal that we wrote, and we will continue to do the permitting, I hope, through land or through the moratorium for the things that people need that don't change the footprint of their home.
Things that qualify.
To anything your needs with business licenses, if they need to look at that. So I'm hoping that can, and it's our understanding that that's gonna continue.
Will roll over into it.
Yeah, the process of doing that will stay the same that it always has, that you'll put your permits and your applications into the county, and they will work with those the way they always have with their team, Stan's team down there,
Right.
whether it be Frontier or their new system. Hopefully, it'll be a seamless process that will continue that way.
So that gives us some time if we wanna investigate Casell or some other features, so when we take over that responsibility, then we'll have a platform to do that. So it's been pretty good, a lot of discussion, but pretty good.
You guys are getting up and running with the planning commission.
Yes, good point. Go ahead, you know a lot more about that as far as what you've done with the planning commission, Peggy.
Yeah, we have got them all in place. One had resigned. So we had, when we did the interviews and our whole process, we had two alternates. So we went to the first alternate and they were able to join us. And so now we have Jim Morgan, who is joining our team. We'll start with them on January 27th. And Chair Janet said you and I could facilitate that first meeting. And at the end of the first meeting, we'll elect a chair and vice chair, and then we'll run with it from there.
Excellent.
So we have an agenda of going over the Open and Public Meetings Act. We're gonna give them background on the transition team. We're gonna get them into the drive. We look at land use ordinances and kind of see where we're at along this.
So that's January 27th. And what time?
Well, they're still weighing in now that Jim joined us. It's looking like it's gonna be the majority, well, I hate to say in case it changes. So they're all weighing in and we'll pick whatever works for most people and then we'll go with that. So I'll let you know that as soon as I get the last two people to weigh in.
Can I ask Peggy, through that process, they're going through the land use and zoning and everything. And then it comes to us and we vote on it, right?
Oh, that's gonna take 5 months. It won't be voting.
Let's not put it, because
We
hopefully.
have up to 5
Yes.
months. But no, what we're gonna do is not Tuesday, we're just gonna do an overview.
No, I know that.
Oh.
I'm just, what I'm wondering is how much will we see of what they do?
Everything.
Okay,
We will vote on everything.
we'll vote on it, but we'll be able to,
Nothing is
Yeah.
behind a lockbox.
okay.
Yeah, everything. And, we have a good start on the general plan. We have a good, we have the zones. And we talked to them today and we sent out to both JUB and MSD a proposal to say, how can you help us get to our goal of these land use codes with what we have? So they're writing up, they're gonna give it to us by Friday end of the week. Write up what they can do each month to help train our team and get them writing. So then we can do the public meetings as we get them done, and move them through.
And when we first presented this to them, they were really concerned as far as what our timeline was on it. They didn't realize that JUV. They didn't realize almost all the back work we'd already done with both the general plan and the land use. And so they were super encouraged when they found out where we were with things, that we'd already gone in, made comments, made changes, did things with it. So they feel like the timeline is very reachable to be able to help us out with that. So
Can you talk about how you perceive all this prior work folding into what this planning commission is gonna do? Because you had such robust contributions from the community in suggesting edits, revisions with a view to creating the planning group. So a lot of the work has been done by the community already.
and what did you want me to want?
Yeah, what was your question?
Yeah, what the question started with, how are you going to utilize that and view that to expedite the process?
Well, I mean, I think that's one of the things that they were so encouraged by us having the community's involvement already, that they said usually we don't even have to go close to that. It's usually the council that's the only ones that are
Great.
part of that. So they were very encouraged that we already put that out to the community, those who wanted to volunteer and be a part of that, which was a pretty robust group that helped out with that during that time frame. So we feel like we have a pretty good start with that, and we will continue to lean on the community and continue to encourage anyone that's interested to be a part of that process as we move forward. I've had a lot of people who brought their expertise in the past with the old general plan, which isn't technically what we will use that, but it fell under a completely different thing. We will utilize some of the things that we learned from that and build off of it and tweak it here and there to fit our valley now. But we will definitely utilize those who were instrumental in building that and putting that general plan together, both on the land and also on the land use. So I think that to your question, Kay, is I think for sure we will continue to utilize that. And in the planning commission, we have people who were, very involved with that too, who a few of those are now involved with the planning commission, who will continue to be able to give their expertise. And that's one of the cool things with the planning commission. When you look over the 7 individuals in the planning commission, they all have a varied experience of different things that they bring to the planning commission. I think it's a really strong group that's coming together and a motivated group. They're all ready to go. They're all asking us to how quickly they can get a hold of the general plan and also the land use and things like that. So I think that's a good thing. That's encouraging for us because we see that as it's just going to help us out moving forward.
So the next 2 meetings are just gonna be more orientation and training. So the 27th is gonna be going through some basics and then selecting a chair. The second one.
Yeah, we have a really cool opportunity. Greg Call, who's a retired attorney, wrote the book on ground rules for land use regulation, and he's a Valley resident, and he has offered to give some training to us and also the new planning commission to get us started on that. And so this book has been invaluable, been incredible for us to jump into and start off with. So
Is there a date for him yet?
there is second week in February.
February 10th, 6 to 8. The time is nailed down for that.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Tuesday, so
So-
planning commission meets on that off Tuesday.
I was gonna say, I believe that they've made the settlement that, so we're the first and third Tuesday, that the planning commission will be the second and fourth Tuesday.
Which worked out for Huntsville because they kept this open for us on Tuesdays. So it really worked out for them, worked out for us. So far, everybody can make Tuesday. We're just nailing down the time.
If I could add a suggestion, and I'm sure, if it's still up in the air, chances are it's because not everybody liked this one, but ours are 6 to 8, and it would probably behoove the public if it was just a standard Tuesdays at 6 to 8. There's a city meeting here in Huntsville.
There's a very good possibility.
Because it makes sense to me. Okay, we are going to come back around to planning after we finish going through everybody's kind of updates here. So if I could jump to Hickman, Councilman Hickman, what you got?
Before we go into my portfolio permitting, I understand from the meeting that some of you were at the county on Thursday last week, that they said that excavation permits, things like that are not going to be done through Frontier. Am I?
Excavation powered utility.
That was that was Sean's understanding when he walked out of that meeting.
And was that because those aren't done in Frontier, or they have excluded it from Frontier? Do you?
He just thought the deadline was, as soon as they finish these, no new permits will be processed with the county. So when we left that call, I thought that was gonna be a discussion to see if that could continue until we had some systems in place.
I don't understand, no new permits, we have future stand land that,
Right.
This is why I'm confused, or it's probably just because I was in that meeting and didn't hear it. A month ago, one Comcast would go to the county, into Frontier, request a permit to excavate, name a road out here, and it would be processed through Stan's Frontier using the engineers. That's my understanding of the way it was done. Assuming that's done, what I think you guys heard on Thursday was that the county is not gonna let us use Frontier to manage that type of work in our city. Is that what you heard?
Yes, and Don, here's an example. Tia working with Iris on those permits. Those go through Iris. They all go through Frontier.
Right.
It's not Scan's Frontier.
Right, it's Frontier.
It's Frontier. So they all go into Frontier, and whoever is over those departments sends them out to engineers or planners.
Right.
So we're good with permitting. It's still gonna continue. It sounds like.
But permitting includes excavation permits, is why I'm confused.
Yeah, it's not been in our list of things. Because Sean is calling the shots on that, Sean Wilkinson, so that goes through him. Right? And engineering.
But so what you heard from the county is no, when it came to excavation permits.
What I heard from the county was no. At this point in time,
specific about excavation or anything.
anything that
Excavation.
Sean is over was the impression I got, Sean and Garrett.
Okay.
I'm lost.
Okay.
Should we just call Sean?
We should, but
You should call somebody, should call.
okay, so we'll do that, and the context is, I'm looking at the interlocal for permitting.
Mhm.
The county agrees to furnish to the city all services provided by the county's building inspection division. Now that is Stan, but presumably it's the process of you come to with a permit. So we're gonna just have to clarify this with this.
So we'll call Sean.
Yeah, we'll go. Sean.
Or the only other thing is if it's Stan shoots it out to the engineer, Stan shoots it to Nate.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought we were gonna do, but what I think you heard on Thursday is no.
Right.
You cannot use Frontier for excavation and similar utility permitting.
For any new permits.
For new utility and excavation permits, while we can,
Right.
for you and I asking for pole barns when the moratorium's lifted.
Well,
Yes or no? Because
Yes or
you
no?
make it sound
When you
like it's
say new
anything.
permits, what do you mean?
Building permits, not excavation permits.
Oh, so what is approved in your guys' understanding from the meeting on Thursday going forward?
I don't know how to say it any differently, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
Crack at it.
Yeah, no, I think that we need to just verify that as far as how that goes, but he explained it well that there's certain permits go directly through Stan and his team, and the other ones that come through Frontier are automatically kicked the other way, and I think those that are kicked the other way are excavation and power hookups. And so
Okay,
from when those are kicked the other way, I'm not sure.
gotcha.
We need to
Okay,
verify
that's a
that.
conversation with
I just-
Stephen and
yeah.
Gilbert.
Email Stan now to ask him that question.
Got it, because business licenses, which are in Frontier, aren't getting kicked out, they're being worked. Special permits, which are done in Frontier, are being kicked out, they're worked. The
And not
county
kicked out, I
has
don't want
carved
to make
out,
sure I don't say kicked out, I mean kicked over to another
right, the
department.
county has carved out this section for whatever reason, and it begs the question.
What
Yes.
what department would that be? that it's being kicked over to.
Engineering.
Engineering.
And I think
Which we have a
that's just a
contract.
difference in understanding maybe between departments, so I'm hoping a conversation can take care of that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for clarifying. what
Yeah,
was
which is
completely
interesting.
unclear.
because
Okay.
Once it left Stan's domain, we didn't talk about it, so it's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's right,
And-
we stayed in our lane.
And part of it's taxonomy, I'm sure. The intent, when we, at least what I thought our intent was when we negotiated the interlocal, was Stan manages most of Frontier. And we were gonna use Frontier as the permitting tool for all of our permitting.
All permitted.
Mhm.
And the county appears to interpret this differently.
And I don't know if that's all of the county or if we just misunderstood with Sean.
Yeah.
Right,
Can I-
which if we could just, because of time.
Yes.
We'll call.
Joe.
Let's just wrap that up.
Cause when I was in the office last week, somebody came in with a power permitting.
Yeah.
I sent him to you, so those questions are.
But this is exactly how it's going. The utilities of, to my portfolio. Those of you who don't know Don Hickman, my portfolio is public works and engineering. So these things have expressed themselves in engineering. This, who's in charge of permitting approval for utilities? The engineering side of the house is gonna be huge. We knew it was gonna be huge. I'm pleased to announce we have a city engineer. His name is Nate Smith with JUB Engineering. And our deputy engineer is Matt Crump. Both of them are professional engineers. They're the same company as Brian Carver came from planning. I'm spending a lot of time with those gentlemen and their staff, getting our entire engineering soup to nuts understood. We've got a very long laundry list of things that we've got to get our hands around, moving all the data, all the plans, all the agreements from the county over to us. To just run of the mill engineering questions. How do you do a utility excavation? So when we talk about the Kanban thing or whatever we're calling it, it'll all be in there. I manage these contracts with something that's called a task order. So I will say to JUB, I task you to go do this type of work for this long, don't exceed that much money. And that's how we're managing these. The city has in its budget various account codes by the different things we do. And so engineering actually has 3 account codes: general engineering, municipal services, roads, storm drains, things like that, and development engineering supporting Chad and Peggy's work for this. So expect a lot of conversation on this, and of course it's high vis as we work with development. On the public works side, we have a contract with Weber County Roads. Unfortunately, for those of us who love to ski, or those of us who love water in the summer, it has not snowed but twice. So the good thing is we haven't had a lot of snow bills. The bad thing is there's no snow in the mountains. But I'll be meeting at least once a month with Joe Hadley from Weber County, just to make sure that roads are being done the way we want them to. The other public works type thing that's in my portfolio right now is waste management, the trash service that is under contract. We've basically adopted the county's contract on a 3-year term. It ought to be absolutely transparent to everybody in the city. It looks like, smells like exactly what the county is. Sounds like garbage. You are not forced to do it. You can choose to do it. So we don't have a city utility bill that goes out to you. You actually have to sign up with waste management for it. And Hay in particular and I will be working through a lot of mechanics on money. So there you go. There's a lot going on in my portfolio.
Has there been any discussion with the roads folks about all of the asphalt opportunities they're going to have with the money they're not spending on snow plowing?
So to my colleague Kate Hoagland's question, we inherit from the county a roads maintenance plan, which is metaphorically there's snow season out season. We will approve said roads plan and we'll have an opportunity to add or subtract from it. We, the engineering and roads team, will start working on it in probably February or March, and we'll bring it to all of us for approval at that time. Those of you who use Ogden Valley Divide, often and always, there will be a sign placed out there sometime in the next 3 weeks at 2900 North that says open or close. So when they close the gate, they're gonna flip the sign, say close, they're gonna put some orange cones or something to keep people that don't drive up there. There's reason why you don't want to drive up there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And one of the blocks, I think, for all of us is the communication to the residents, and we're hoping once the website gets up and running, we can have all of this on there.
There'll be a lot on it. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna just really quickly, because I did a lot of update last time, but so under my portfolio, I have everything from administration and working with the recorder and our attorney and everything else. We're still working to streamline and make sure we can make this the easiest process possible for public notice, so we're still working on that. In terms of external relations, the date I was looking at for us to have an ILA with Washington Terrace to help move our justice court a little closer. So for everyone that wasn't aware right now, everyone in the valley, if you get a ticket or you have to go to court for any reason, you go all the way out to Roy. We've heard from the sheriff that people aren't really happy about having to drive all the way to Roy. Washington Terrace is much closer. I've met with them. They have a wonderful courthouse. They have the bandwidth to take us on, and we've gone through a process with their city council where they agreed to kind of do a little bit of a feasibility, see how much it would strain their court, this and that. That is still ongoing, but it's looking very good. We did move the date. I thought I might be able to have an ILA by this meeting. This is by today. No, it is not today. It will be, right now we're looking at the first week in February. So that meeting, our first meeting in February, is when we should have an ILA drafted to an interlocal agreement, a contract between cities to switch over to them. So I'll keep you updated on that. If anyone wasn't aware, the legislative session started today. So part of my role as well is to be on the legislative policy council, whatever, group of different municipalities, their mayors and city council members sit on a board with the Utah League of Cities and Towns so that we can be apprised of everything going on at the state, that we have direct access to our state representatives and senator to shoot them our requests, to tell them, please vote the way we wish you to vote on these items that, directly affect our communities. So that is up and running. Wasatch Front Regional Council, I sit on that. That's also up and running. These are all meetings I have outside of our regular city office hours and meeting hours. WACOG, I sit on 2 subcommittees in there as well, and we meet regularly with that. I started the Olympics organization committee meeting, so we touched on that in our last meeting. I don't need to talk about that today. The fire board, so the fire district board meets on Tuesdays, which will preclude me from going to planning commission meetings. So that'll just, if they're set on the second and fourth Friday, it just isn't going to be something that I'll be participating in.
May I ask, Janet, is that something I've not seen commissioners at planning commission meetings?
No, the person who has the portfolio is the one who would work directly with them. So that would be Chad. Yeah, Chad and you.
Okay, good. But we can be flexible in terms of, we don't need to be there every week. They can run and do the work.
Yes, so I'm not concerned that I would not be able to attend because that's not my role necessarily. You guys have that covered. But for the public, I sometimes people see that, in particular, I've received feedback that because I didn't attend a certain meeting, that it was because I didn't care. That exact night, I was at a WACOG meeting representing our city. So a lot of my role happens on off hours and different days when our city is not meeting.
Right, I just meant the requirement for the planning commission.
Not me.
And our planner offered to be there when he's needed, especially if we're looking at writing those codes and. So,
oh yes, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
So we'll have that's something for you guys to look at with your budgets. But in the case of the county, their planners are in-house. They have a salary, so they're there all the time. right? Because it's just part of the budget and part of the salary. If, you know, you guys have a budget and you have a contracted planner hourly, and that's for you guys to figure out how to best utilize those dollars.
And we'll get to that when we get to the next strategy piece.
Yeah. Yes. And so why don't we go ahead and jump there? I don't think there was anything else I really needed to bring on.
We'll keep talking. There's one.
Well, I'd like to move forward because I'd really love to get us out on time at 8. And so the next thing on the agenda is just a brief discussion on land use strategy and how to get out of the moratorium. So I know I wanted to bring this up because there was a lot of work done on land use and planning in the transition team and with the volunteers in the community. So if I had to put a percentage, and I led that team, so if I had to put a percentage on completion, I would give us at least a 75% completion rate. That would be my perception. There are certain things that are going to need to be decided that we will want to really involve the public. The public should be involved in everything as much as they want to be. Like these documents, just like during transition teams, should be on a shared drive where, that's my opinion, where anyone who wants to look at them can. Anyone who wants to weigh in can. And that way they can read them and come into the planning commission meetings and give public comment from an educated place, right? Because they've read it and they've digested and maybe they've looked at other places and they have feedback to give. Separately, when we adopt the code and the general planning code, we have to also have a completed land use map. And this is where the transition team did not touch it because, and it was very purposeful. My viewpoint was none of us, I mean, the transition team started before we even filed for candidacy and did a campaign. So my whole perspective was none of us are the elected people, so we're just making suggestions, and we weren't going to touch what we thought certain things should get rezoned into. But there was discussion from the transition team of certain zones not being adopted into the new city, right? So there were open discussions about maybe not adopting things like the form-based zone. There was a lot of controversy with form-based. And while you could take it there, I mean, if we're going to do the general plan, you're going to want a village plan, something to make a village. But it doesn't have to be what the current form-based zone says. It can be something else entirely, or it can be parts of it, but not others. However, the city wants to do it. The transition team did not try to skin that cat. We went in and we just reviewed, revised all the codes that we thought would be good to bring over, and we just didn't bother touching the ones we weren't thinking would be good. To have the map, which is what you have to have when you adopt your code, anything that you're going to not adopt that currently exists in the city boundary, you need to have given a new code. And that I think should be a very open discussion because that changes what people currently own and what they live next to.
So you're talking about agricultural zones, forest zones. You're not talking about form-based village zones that are.
No, you do. So, and this was, this was something I was, that I learned during, after election, when we were trying to when we were solidifying our municipal code and solidifying land use code at that time. That's when I learned, oh, no, we can't do the land use code during the interim. We have to wait because I was under the impression because these form-based zones in particular, so if that's a zone we don't want to adopt, but they're vested, they have these agreements, these contracts, they're staying until they choose to either rezone or amend or do anything else. I was under the impression, well, they'll just still say FB on the map because that's what they're legally designated. What I learned through council was no, if we're not adopting that zone, which I don't know if we are, but if we're not adopting that zone, then the map that we approve with our land use code would have a different designation where that FB currently is. And then, but the landowner has their, and they are FB, we all agree to it. But on the map, FB doesn't exist because we didn't adopt it. So that changed. So now we have to decide what will those areas be?
Right. Got that, and that has to be the process that's very, gets a lot of feedback, and we're gonna talk about that.
All of it does, but yes,
So-
that's huge.
That's a big one, because it could impact so many people. But Chad and I, just to give you an idea of that process, asked the two companies that we're working with to provide a month-by-month outline of what they could do to help us with this, and what strategies they would use, and how many public meetings, and is it gonna be like a town hall? Give us some strategies on that. So, and the cost, so we wanted to compare those pieces, because we do have a budget, you don't know what else might have to come out of that budget, like a code enforcement person, or, so we're still learning all those things on where that's coming from. So we got a month-by-month breakdown coming.
When you say a month by month, so what I was and I did not have any idea that we would be doing this and laying it out all up tonight, because we're tacking a work session on. But I'd like this to be a running discussion. I'd like this topic of basically land use strategy, getting us out of the moratorium, to be a running topic in our work sessions, because there's so much to talk about, and we can't talk because of open public meetings. We can't all talk to each other unless it's a public meeting. So, in my world, in my mind, you start at, okay, the moratorium, we have about 5 months left. So you start with that date and you work backwards.
Right.
Right. Okay. So when you said they're giving us a month to month, it sounded to me like they were kind of like, well, we can have this in February, and we can have this, but I would think we have to have it adopted within 5 months.
Yes.
And so therefore backing out all of that. Okay. And a lot of it, I would say I just want to also be clear that if we're going to wait for the second and fourth Tuesday is the planning commission, we're never going to make it in time. It's going to have to be a lot of special meetings. Town halls aren't, that's a separate thing, where we just have a lot of these discussions. And if you do put things on a shared drive and put that link out the way we did in the transition, I think that saves a lot of time too, because the public can go on at their leisure. They don't have to wait for a meeting.
Right.
And if they're able to make edits or suggestions, or just simply email you the suggestions, I think that that'll help save time too.
I think we're in agreement. I'm just not communicating it well, apparently, because what we're trying to do with these first 2 meetings is set up the basic structure, get some orientation in, get some common understanding of what our work is, while we're waiting to see what everyone can help us facilitate. And then once we get that list of things, then we can start putting in when we need to get going on them and get them going a little faster. But right now, we're just trying to set some basic structures in place.
Okay.
Before Donna answer that, one of the other exciting pieces that Chad and I heard today is they also have a communications team that would like.
Who's
JUB.
Okay, thank you.
JUB also has a communication team called the Landing Group that would be an add-on cost. So we asked them to say, what would you do to communicate this to the public? How would you set this up, and give us your cost estimate so we can evaluate those proposals as they come in?
Okay.
So that was an exciting piece to dovetail with your communication team and get any ideas from them. So that was
And I want to make sure this is open for everybody to weigh in on. The other thing I think would be helpful, we all have had access the transition shared drive has never been taken down. Everybody has whatever, but right now within our internal shared drive, those codes were there from the interim. And I don't think anyone's really been looking at them lately because we've been so busy with everything else. But I think in the effort to get these things accomplished, you asked the question of, does the planning commission look and then come to us? Right. I think it should all happen at the same time. I think that's my opinion.
Looking at them.
Because otherwise there's time going by. I think that the planning commission should have all the files. We should have all the files. Everybody should be looking. If there's anything you think needs to be adjusted, changed, tightened, then we note it, because in the end, the planning commission has to make a recommendation to us, but we're the one, not me, you guys. You guys are the ones that either reject it, adopt it, or whatever. So there's no point in having them send you things that you're like, no, I'm not doing
We did
that.
that in place of education, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
And is it okay if we get involved as well
Involved in what? Sorry.
in developing the code?
Sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think so. I don't see the point of, yeah, I think if we're, the public can and you can. But I don't see the point of having them come with something that you're not going to adopt.
Exactly.
Because then you send it back to the drawing board.
Exactly. Because I'm thinking, how can we help you? We communicated over the weekend on this. How can we get to what's already been marked up and thought through?
It's already been
Into
sent
final form.
to the folks in the planning commission. So, and
Well,
our fellow planners, so I think we are just right there getting everybody access. And that's our first step.
But in terms of once they get it, how can you then get it into a final version, final form?
And that's for the outside experts, we're hoping.
And that's
to
where-
Facilitate.
I hear, do you need the experts to take comments and incorporate them into what's been done? And I'm not sure, wait and see what the bill is, but I think there's also equally a possibility that you could have some of the planning commissioners themselves and some of the public help revise that writing. Because basically they have already a pre-existing code with edits, and it's something along the lines of incorporating those edits and perhaps adding their own judgment. But to have to manage the budget, you may want to look at having other people do the writing and not just.
You mean volunteers?
Yeah, other
Exactly.
volunteers, yeah.
Well, the other thing, yeah.
Sorry.
Get,
And
okay,
this
fine.
will need to go before, this will need to have a review with the lawyers, right?
At some point.
Yeah, towards the
So-
end review.
So that's still gotta go through.
Yeah.
lawyers.
Yes.
I'm just thinking, how do you strip layers and layers of hourly fees
Right.
from this?
Well,
Can I jump it down real quick? You've been waiting and I've got.
Oh, did you have your hand up?
Multiple times.
Yes, sorry. Excuse me.
You need to.
So that's what I get for being over on this side.
Yeah, stop, Don.
I can, I brought the
Go ahead.
checkers too. Thank you, Peggy and Chad. It sounds like to me you're working with Brian and with MSD to scope the way forward between now and 5 months and a change from you, right? When do you think you'll have details of timelines? Not just when the planning commission is gonna begin meeting, but the critical things, one of which is, when are we gonna start looking at the zoning? When and how will the ordinances begun to be looked at? When and how will the general plan, and in some of its timing, there has to be a general plan officially before there can be land use codes, but one can look at them at the same time. So is Brian and MSD gonna provide you sort of the detail on boom, 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 this is gonna happen then, and then? Is that what you're gonna get from us?
That's what we asked
Yeah.
for by the end of the week.
There we go, that's,
This week.
that is why. So Peggy, that's why I asked the question then, because I don't think she heard that. So,
I did not hear that this week. I heard you asked for it. I didn't hear a timeline.
We said time is of the essence.
yes.
We are
So,
going
fantastic.
through this world.
so awesome, I'm looking forward to looking at it, and I think you know this, the zoning part is gonna be incredibly controversial. What to make form-based into, what to make EDR into. In District 5, there is a mobile home park. The owner of that would like it to be something other than a mobile home park. Those certain things, AD3 isn't gonna be controversial, probably.
Right.
So we need to anticipate that controversy and bake into this whole process. How are we gonna deal with these and what are they gonna look like? And I'm here to help you,
And how do we get everyone's feedback? And
Right.
what about commercial zones? And we gotta hear
Right.
from everybody.
And
and then one other thought for everyone. If more than two of us need to meet, we can do that. We just have to call it a working session. And I'm available to chair, she's available to chair, and we can do these so we can get the work done. Because we've got to get We're all on this together. Let's get this sucker solved. I'm on your team.
Wait, hold on, I was on hold for a minute. Hold on. So
I can see your hand. That's okay.
I was before. I just want to reiterate one thing, and that is in my perspective, we are not looking for the complete redo and shooting for perfection right now. We have put in for a grant that we will hopefully win, and if we win it, that is when we are looking to do an entire revamp of our general plan and corresponding land use code. My understanding is right now, we're trying to take the work that was previously done and adopt a code so that we can get out of the moratorium as quickly as possible. The moratorium was we had to do it because there are certain things that need to be done in the public about these rezones and everything else. And the faster we can get out of it, the better it is for all of our residents and
But
constituents.
I think speed's important, but I also think that we absolutely have to hit certain things that Don just expressed over there as far as the zoning, some of the zoning issues. things
That's the
like
whole
that.
reason. That's the whole point of this.
Right,
Yeah.
But yes, we're not gonna speed through it and have it,
No, that wasn't my
Right.
suggestion.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what's the framework with which you all want to approach this? And I too, we're all here to help. You may regret that statement, but no, we want to help. But again, you have something that's 60 to 75% done. And it's just taking it over the goal line of getting those changes incorporated, adding whatever other changes the commissioners might want. And the goal is get us through and out of the moratorium. You do have a grant coming up, which will allow you to go back and redo things. And you're smiling, Michelle.
Janet just said that, so we don't have to repeat. You said exactly
Okay,
that.
I won't talk anymore.
Well, no, that's fine, but you're saying almost identical to what Janet was saying,
Okay.
right?
No, yeah, I was putting a primacy in terms of the sequencing of not telling you've got 5 months to finish it, but rather thinking, what can you do in 2 months, 3 months? And putting, because the natural tendency will be to want to reinvent the wheel when they've already been working on the wheel.
No, I think we were pretty clear with the groups, A and K, because we feel your same urgency.
Yeah.
And what we might want to do too is adopt some codes that just move them over, like the signage code and some of the other ones that we can look at later. And just focus on the ones that are important. We first have to do the zoning map and make sure that's gone through everyone's feedback in that cycle. And then we hit those land use codes that are important to us and the standards are there. So I think we're on the same page. I might have thrown you when I said that 5 months, but I wanted to, they're talking about years, we can develop these plans in here. I said, no, this is where we're at. This is our reality. And this is what we have done. And like Chad said earlier, we shared what we have done and they were thrilled. So they're gonna take that and run with it. But I think it will, once we get this outline back Monday, I think that'll help us in terms of seeing how we're hitting those points. And
I'm putting you on the agenda.
good.
All right.
Don, you had one more thought?
Back to public access to the available information. Did I hear that the plan is to put the drafts that exist, draft change, general plan, draft change to the land use codes out there to the general public to begin to be able to look at?
I made the suggestion. We didn't.
Right,
It was.
I'm looking at the lead for this.
I think
Right.
it's been out there before.
Right.
Let's get it back out.
Let's get it back out there. So either through the website, once you figure out the best way to do it to control it, then let's get the word out.
As soon as we get that website going, and I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see how to do that, with the link down here.
And you'll need to do it. The expert is sitting over there in a way
We'll
that
need-
somebody doesn't corrupt the files, yada, 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 yada.
To figure out how to do that and get them out, so there's links listed
Yeah.
for, and it's pretty much in folders. I think it's, if you know Google, you can get into them. So I think we'll be okay with getting it out to everybody, and then if there's questions, we'll be happy to help them through.
and standing by to help if you want to call a meeting and the mayor's not available, we can call a meeting and pro tem will sit there and make it official. Let's get this sucker done.
Yes, we're running as fast as we can.
Yeah, you've done a lot.
It's the biggest. You guys, hats off, you took over the behemoth, right? I mean, it's huge. So, and all eyes are on it. So, you guys are doing great. So, next up on the agenda is planning boards. I will note that it is basically 7:45. We have 15 minutes to end on time. So my intent was, our dream team over there has put together initial planning boards for everybody, as we said in a previous work session that they would do. The original intent was we could open them, go through them. I think maybe we push that to Monday. In the meantime, can I just shortcut it with, has everybody had a chance to look at your planning board? Do you have any questions? Okay, so good thing we're not pulling them up tonight. Let me get everybody to commit to looking at your planning board. So if you do have any questions, any roadblocks, anything that you need help with, we can get that communication going.
I was saying, I had offered to help each
Yes.
person individually walk through it, get through it, just to see it. I know Peggy and I walked through it ahead of a meeting. I know.
Good job.
Just quickly, but, I need to do it more than, it's, it's a little bit different than what a lot of people have done before, so just getting acclimated to it might take a couple of times.
Sure. But so if everybody would think to at least open it, look through it before Monday's work session, that would be great. Maybe we can stick that on over to the next week's agenda so that, yes, ma'am.
I got a planning board for business licenses, but then I need one for everyone and every one of the things.
One planning board.
One planning board. Okay, so I don't have to create four or five different.
I created one for you already.
I know, it said business licenses and I haven't looked at it, so that's my bad.
I just put one topic on your one planning board.
But you can put other
But
topics.
I don't know what else to put. You have to be the one to put it.
Okay.
I just put something out there as an example.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you very
And
much.
thank you for that.
Yes.
I just need to.
Okay.
But for other items in her portfolio.
Yes, she can
Then we'll
add.
have separate.
No.
No, here's the way it works. I've spent a lot of time on this sucker. Here's the way it works. She's created District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4, District 5. Within 5, I'm gonna have about this many engineering and about that many public works related things. Cards.
Mhm.
You're gonna have business license,
Special
economic
events.
development.
Animal control.
So within District 1, you're gonna have as many as you wanna put in there.
So
That's where it
you
is.
have, your planning board covers your entire portfolio, provides a quick status update. For Don's, he probably will have other planning boards that would roll up into his District 5 board, where with the goal being to provide you the summary that you require. You don't need all the weeds, you need the summary.
But you do have subordinate
But
planning.
you can.
You have support.
Can
Which
have
is like
subordinate boards if you
Yeah.
need that to manage it.
Okay.
But with the goal being have one high level view of it that can be reviewed in work sessions across, the public.
I'll show you guys what I have on Monday if you want.
Can I ask, so what we've been doing tonight is we've gone through what we're doing in each of our, that's what should be on a planning board.
Yes.
Okay, everything you're working.
Yep. It's your
Everything's
status.
Yeah.
It's just having it documented instead of having to think about it
and to remember, yeah.
and remember.
Should streamline that portion of the work session. So if everybody will please commit, open up the link. She sent everybody your own personal planning board. Take a look at it. Get your questions together. She's willing to accept your phone call until she stops accepting our phone calls. And then we'll put it on the agenda for Monday as well. We'll have to send you some flowers or something. You two over
I
there.
was gonna say, the only time I'm not available is in Seattle's next game.
Okay.
Just reminded me.
All right, well, to our other phenomenal volunteer that we abused her time of, website feedback.
Alright, lay it on me.
I sent you, a long list of,
All my feedback.
I did too.
I don't need to talk about it here.
Yeah. I don't
So
need to
the
look.
big thing I want to bring up though, just to make sure, because we do want your feedback, is once we have your feedback, we also need your data. So I know we want to put municipal code up on the website, communications, meeting agendas, the budget, the water PowerPoint, whatever it is that your different portfolios want to have on that website. I need that data, and I'm a good searching dog, but I also have a real life, and I need you guys to help me find your data. So if you want data on your page, you just need to tell me where it is, so then I can get it gathered up to our website vendor. If we take away all their questions and we already have it all ready for them, then we can have our new update out in a few days instead of playing phone tag for weeks with them.
So how do people get any data? Is it on Word docs? Is it on a spread? How do we do this?
You can email it to me and I will move it to where it needs to go, and then it will be available for you in your Teams folder on our SharePoint. I'm happy to get that all set up for you guys.
Okay.
But if you want to email it to me, or if it's in the Google Drive and I get the link to it, I will move everything around and get it ready to go.
Okay.
Kathy, would that data include like links to business license
Yes.
or links to
Yeah.
special service?
Oh, and a little paragraph for folks, for residents, when they go to business licenses, a little paragraph about what we're doing. We're still working with the county. Here's how you get it. Just a little informational piece to go with it. And then any pictures you have of the valley, we gotta get that into the newspaper. We'd love to have
Any
residents.
pictures, regardless of whether they're professional or not?
As long as you have approval, permission.
The website looked great, I thought. Took the pictures, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was very nice, but some of them were snow based and not of our valley. So we would really love to keep our pictures, and that might be something fun to do with, open it up and invite, local photographers and local amateur photographers to send in their pictures. So we can just rotate them, and that would be nice.
And then I know you guys are talking about the land use. We always have separate pages for Kay's favorite word of tranches.
Mhm.
And then below that, we just have a form that they can fill out and say, hey, put an edit here. It will come over to Peggy and Chad, who are doing the land use guide for what I can. And then they can filter all that feedback up and then it's pretty.
Nice.
Because Google Drive, everyone will see each other's comments. We can't, make sure people aren't saying mean, nasty things.
Yes, I would rather-
Before to make it a lot happier for.
I think that's great. Sounds good.
And we need an info number. Is that the info? To like contact us.
Well, we're getting phone numbers at some point.
Yep, yeah, they just finished confirming there's an app for you guys' cell phones where that's to carry around for equipment.
So would that give that number that you're looking for?
Yep, all 6 of you will have a phone number.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
because I was like,
Like,
what
be
what
like-
is that number?
We're doing a city number versus the 6 of us.
I believe we were discussing if that was something we needed, right? And we did agree that.
I think we did.
So the next question we had was, who's answer?
Where would that go?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Oh, we gotta come up with a process for checking it.
Maybe, hey, no.
And we're creating a comment or question.
Numbers for the city, you want one number.
Yeah.
You need one central number. You can still publish one for planning and zoning and one for business licenses. And that if you choose to, but I still think you need one general number to refer people.
Right, one number, and press 1 for planning, press 2 from.
So one number, and then we have a contact us page and also a volunteer page. Anybody knows anyone with technology, we need volunteers for the planning commission to do what these guys do for us here. So we really need to get a shout out, and that brings me to the council corner in the newspaper. Did we do a council corner?
We did.
Yes, we did.
We
Did
did.
you ask for volunteers?
For council corner? That's one of you
Council
all.
corner?
Council.
It's a council member.
Right there.
That's to introduce yourself. Council corner.
Oh, okay. I'll get caught up on that one.
Okay.
But can I,
Yes.
did we nail down where that one number will land
No,
for the city?
no.
We didn't have, so we don't, okay, that's just.
Free volunteering.
That, no, I'm not volunteering. That's just a thought. We don't have anything concrete for that yet. There's no idea anyway.
Let's talk about it, think about it, and.
Yeah, think about it.
Right.
What are some resources, you know, we have some volunteer possibilities, you could look at some call services that might help, you could look at rotating. Among us council members,
Rotating, you'd be changing the number all the time.
you can set it up so the number could go to different people internally.
You could always have it be a phone tree that lets you push 1, 2, 3, 4 to go to whoever you want and make it accept text messages, so then all of you can just see the text and respond, so you don't need one person. That's what I do for my company, when you
Since
text
they're
in,
not
I'll listen
open
it.
all the time, 40
Yeah.
hours, we'll be having a message. You know, so the capability of leaving a message, as long as someone's chatting.
Yes. Same with the contact us, we need to have somebody looking at those regularly.
1, 2, 3, 9.
Yeah, the nose goes. All right, we're so close. So last up would be office hours. The way it is written in our adopted, is it an ordinance or a resolution? I can't remember. But basically it laid out that these were our office hours until we changed them. So there's no end date to them. So into February, we will roll until it has been changed in a public meeting. That our office hours are Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, Wednesdays are 9 to 1, Thursday is 1 to 5. We have all signed up for the month of January, where we knew that was going to happen. But since we have not changed them, we will now circulate a sign up for February, and unless somebody comes up with something, and in February someone decides to make a motion to change them. So know that I'm going to put out. I saw this video in Microsoft 365. There's a way to do an email where basically within the email, people can just sign their event calendar up, right? So everybody can see it. So they'll see, I can't have that one, Tia took that one, this and that. So I'm figuring that out, but when I get that out, you guys will have it. Everybody will sign up for the month of February and we'll go from there.
Clarifying question. So we have to make a motion on the office hours.
Well, we'd have to change them. They're
Right.
currently written that they are Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, those hours. So what we would do, if all of a sudden it just seems nobody's coming in, they make no sense, or people are like, I would come in if you would be at night. We have to have that discussion, but in order to either stop them or adjust them, we would have to adopt an amendment to what we adopted on the 2nd of January.
And we are not planning on having that discussion anytime soon.
I brought that discussion up in a recent session, and the discussion was that people liked the office hours. A lot of us didn't get anybody coming in. Other times people did come in. But the discussion ended with, nobody really felt there was a need to change it right now, which is why I just put it on here to say, you know, whatever I wrote, basically that until a decision is made, these roll. So if people want to change them, it must be put on the agenda for an amendment to be made.
Okay.
And if we do not do that, it continues to roll. And someone has to stop.
Okay.
So keep that in mind, and I will put out something for the month of February. Unless you decide to put it on the agenda for February, the first week of February. Okay, everybody moving forward? Great. I will take a motion to adjourn.
Before you do that, I scheduled a town hall for District 2 on the 28th of January. So
28
next Wednesday at the library from 6 to 7.
D
So if anyone's in District 2,
Town Hall. Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you for that, Peggy. And
You invited me to that, Peggy.
would you like to join?
You did invite me,
Yeah.
remember?
Would you like to join?
oh, so
I didn't hear.
is it D1 and D2 or is it just D2?
I don't know, I never heard. Would you like to join?
I will join you.
Oh, excellent. So we're doing a town hall for 1 and 2.
D1 and 2 at the same time. All right. No further discussion. I will take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
All in favor? Say aye. Aye, and Andrew. Okay.